Hey, it's another episode of Mavis and Me. Today I'm going to talk about the general training of your service dog. I'll cover focus and engagement skills, the difference between socialization and generalization, and I'll give you some tips for success. First off, it's super important to remember that your dog doesn't speak English. This sounds so silly, yet I see people making this mistake all the time. Just because your dog plopped her butt down 3 times in a row when you said sit, doesn't mean she knows the word. I'll get into why this is true and how we can help her learn our language a little more proficiently later. Setting her up for success starts with staying upbeat, making sure to use high-value rewards, and keeping your sessions short. Who wants to learn when the teacher seems like they're irritated and annoyed? Your dog's no different. We want them to wait enthusiastically all day long for an impromptu training session to start. The best way to get that attitude from them is to constantly be monitoring your attitude. If you're getting frustrated, tell her she's a great dog. Give her a few extra treats for doing something super easy and walk away. Come back to it later when you're in a better frame of mind, and she will continue trying to understand what it is you want from her. Make sure your treats are of high value. Some dogs will work for their kibble, but most work harder for jerky bits, boiled chicken chunks, or slivers of hot dog. The more distracting the area, the higher value your treats are going to need to be. Using kibble in the den at midnight is fine, but training at a carnival probably is going to require bits of steak to keep her attention. Once your dog understands the concept of working for food, his motivation to work for less reinforcing food will gain strength. Also, what he found distracting 3 months ago will likely be less stimulating to him now. Having your dog's attention is the only path to training him as a service dog. Without his focus, he can't learn what it is you need him to know. Focus also requires engagement. Just staring at you is great, but engaging with you means he's looking forward to your next command or signal to be given. Or better yet, he's thinking of a way to earn it. Working on skills such as look at me, or some people will use focus, leave it, ignore, watch me, whatever your command might be, are great ways to keep your dog engaged. Lots of food and markers move this along faster. Wait, what's a marker? Okay, by definition, it's a signal or a noise that marks a behavior or captures it so the dog can more easily repeat it again in the future. Handheld clickers are ideal for marking behavior. To give the marker power, you should follow the marker with a high-value reward such as food. Now you have a dog that's trying to earn a click from you so he can have a treat. This dog is now engaged in the activity and is using his brain to solve the puzzle of what you want. When you have a dog that can stay happily focused and engaged in a highly distracting environment, you have a dog that can handle just about anything that you throw at it. Okay, let's move on to socialization and generalization. Most dog trainers think of socialization as taking their dogs out in the world to see and experience different sights, sounds, and activities. However, socialization is also the first step in training the dog to do something with which they are unfamiliar. We socialize our dogs to something new, let's say the concept of changing from a sit to a stand. We work on this new skill for 5 minutes at a time, 3 times each day in our den. After 3 to 6 days, our dog's probably is performing this request correctly at least 80% of the time. But why, when you take them to your friend's house to show off how clever he is, does he look at you like you're blurting Japanese at him? Is he stupid or is he ornery? Does he take pleasure in making you look like a complete fool? No, he simply doesn't speak English. So now that you've taken him somewhere new, he lost the context of the command and he doesn't know what is expected of him. It's like giving a toddler a much-loved storybook, one that's been read to her over and over again. She will shock family members with her ability to read the book cover to cover out loud. But does she really know how to read? Give her a different book and she's totally stumped. It's because she knows the story that goes along with each page of her favorite book so well that she can repeat it proficiently. The story in the book never changes. Well, the same goes for your dog. It takes generalization for him to repeat a skill fluently no matter where he is. Generalization is when you move your dog to a new place and start over teaching that same skill. When he can do it in the den, in the kitchen, in the yard, at a park, out in the street, on a busy sidewalk, now he's got it figured out. But you have to allow him to relearn each new skill in a new environment in order for him to be fluent at that skill. Generalizing in each new place will prove easier than the last because he's now associating the skill with the actual word or hand signal instead of the environment. All this to say, he's now learning our language. Here are some basic tips to help you along the way. It's important to keep training sessions short. As weird as it sounds, a lot of learning goes on between training sessions. Sometimes it pays to just let it sink in. When you end a training session before your dog wants to, it makes him that much more enthusiastic for the next session to begin. Always try to end on a good note. If your dog is simply not understanding the task you're working on during this training session, end it by working on something simple that he likes to do and he does well. Take small steps towards a goal and, if possible, break new skills down into several simple actions. Always reward your dog when you use a marker, even if you goofed and marked at the wrong time. If you find your dog is struggling to learn a new task, try to give him the benefit of the doubt by looking at your training methods and see maybe if the problem is rooted with you. And be calm and patient. Recognize the fact that your dog is giving all his effort to you, even if the task isn't currently being completed. In summary, to make training successful, you really need to bring your A game to each training session so your dog loves learning with you. All your hard work can really pay off. Well, that's it. As you can see, I lost my light, but that's how it goes. Thanks again for watching, and if you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. If you want to leave any nice comments below, feel free to do that too. Bye. Okay. You can't be sticking your head in the middle of my videotape. When you have a dog that can stay happily focused, can't read it. Now, you're gonna get in the middle of my shot. You always get in the middle of my shots. How am I supposed to videotape with your big fat head in the middle? How am I supposed to videotape with your big fat head in the middle of everything? You can't learn what you need from him to know. Thanks again for watching Mavis and me. We'll be back.